How to improve companies' evaluation process? This is what we are going to see with Finalyse from the Royal Monceau in Paris. Hallie Bilge, Marc-Louis Schmitz, good morning.
Good morning.
You are both co-founder of the Valuation Service Department at Finalyse. Marc-Louis, you help your clients improve their valuation process. Can you explain what services you offer?
So Finalyse is by roots a consultancy company that exists for 35 years, specialized in risk management, valuation and regulatory compliance. And in 2008 we launched with Ali the Finalyse Valuation and Managed Service. That is an outsourced service for valuation, independent valuation of structured product, OTC derivative, private equity and illiquid asset. We provide our client with the full service, so we collect the market data, do the modeling and report to them. The objective is really to provide them a transparent and auditable price.
So Hallie, who are your clients and who benefits the most from your services?
Well, we do cover our client segmentation, both sides of the market. On one hand, we have the sell-side institutions, basically corporate and investment banks. On the other hand, we have the buy-side institutions, which covers insurance companies, asset managers, management companies, portfolio managers, retail private banks. And well, it depends, the requirements and the needs depends on which side of the market you stand, basically. And the needs can be regulatory. For the sell side is mostly regulatory. On the buy side, the needs are mostly collateral management, risk management, initial margin exposure calculations, value at risk calculations. I mean, there are plenty of it.
Okay, and so what are the main trends that you are seeing in the financial risk management today?
So what we see really today is an increased demand for transparency.
Okay.
You have a lot of new regulation, EMIR, market abuse, MIFIR, and recently value for money, which is basically a regulation where the issuer and distributor of products should prove that the cost within the product align with the potential benefit for the investors. So transparency now is really a requirement. It's not only optional.
I see. Hallie, can you share with us a customer success story?
Well, basically, I can give you plenty of them. I have two of them in mind. One of these is a fund administrator, for instance, which has to validate the net asset value of funds of its clients. And in that case, he needs to have collateral management in place, validation of the price, initial margin exposure as well. And to that, it's outsourcing its needs to Finalyse Valuation Service, that we can provide an accurate and fairness of the net asset value, because it will allow him to unwind and subscribe at the end, the end users, investors, to fairly subscribe or unwind his position on the fund.
That's interesting. How does Finalyse help clients adapt to new financial regulation, especially in Europe?
So we have basically two pillars of activities. So the historical one, which is consultancy services, where we would implement solutions, develop and validate models for regulatory compliance, provide dedicated experts to our client. And we have the second pillar that Ali and I created in 2008, which is an outsourced service, where we have all tools, where we have a desk of experts that will help our client and provide them peace of mind on topics around initial margin, as Ali mentioned, Solvency II calculation, stress test, EBA stress test, fair value calculation for IFRS, and so on. So it's really providing them a service instead of just a tool.
Oh, that's interesting. So this is your promise, the peace of mind.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes, that's the reason to outsource. So because we have those experts internally, the client can call, can have contact meetings. So it's not just that they have a black box, they have access to real people helping them with their issues around valuation and regulatory compliance.
And nowadays it's really important to have really real people around us and not just technology. And Hallie, what are your growth goals for the companies for the next years?
But for the next year, I mean, so far we have grown in Europe, consolidated our positions. But of course, our clients are global. We would like to be global as well, to support and help them on their needs worldwide. We think about expanding our geographical position in Europe. I mean,
Yeah.
in Europe we already have it, but in the US
Okay.
and in Asia as well. The second point we would like to issue is we have initiated a consensus data project called iConsensus, and we want to get this consensus data project live in 2025, next year.
Interesting. And how has the rise of the fintech influenced your approach to valuation and risk advisory services?
So as a consultancy company and an outsourcer, indeed, we need to rely on technology.
Yeah.
So technology helps us with scalability, flexibility, to handle large volume and to address the needs of our client. But what we believe is that without human expertise, the technology is not enough. So we really need to have our expert to support the technology and deliver sustainable value to our client. It's only combining the two that bring long-term value.
So expertise, human expertise plus the technology.
Yes, yes.
That's the best cocktail, let's say.
And that's what we see with AI as well, is that if you combine AI and human expertise, you go further.
What about AI? Are you going to implement more AI for the next years?
We touch on AI, but more for data validation, data quality, some predictive analysis, so more in the sense of machine learning and training algorithm. For example, we now read the term sheet thanks to an AI algorithm, but not generative AI.
Yeah, not yet. Generative AI, it's not for all the companies and not necessary for everything. And that's very interesting. Ellie, for the last question, what can we wish you for the next 5 years, let's say?
Well, we had a significant growth the couple of last years, 5-6 years at Finalyse Valuation Service. We can just wish to continue this growth path for the next years.
Okay.
And having success on our expanding geographical presence in North America and Asia.
And who knows, create a new department in 4 more years. Well, this is exactly what I wish you for the next years. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And see you next time on Forbes.fr.